Hey guys, this is Al. It's Memorial Day weekend, so I'm of course over at the shop, and let me tell you what I've been doing. Primarily, I'm still tinkering around with the Corniche. Last time I came in here, I tried to crank it, and the dials kind of started moving, and it wouldn't want to start, and it was acting out really weird. So I figured it was a ground issue. So what I did is I removed and cleaned this ground connection. I suspected it was grounded, it wasn't voltage. I did check the voltage on the cutoff switch, and I was getting a full 12-13 volts out of both sides, so everything seemed to be working okay. So the next thing I paid my attention to was the ground. I removed it. I used a wire brush to clean all the connections and put it back, and sure enough, that solved the problem. Look at the state of this carpet. This is pretty gruesome. I should blame the cats, but it wasn't the cats. But what I did get to do is I took the opportunity to do a little bit of cleanup and clean up the inside of the trunk, put that panel back where it was, where it's supposed to be. Take out all the extra parts that I had left and reinstall them. So now you've got this cover where it should be. The only thing that I'm trying to figure out what to do with is this dipstick. It seems to be, well, it seems to supposed to be connected to something. I can't remember what it was connected to, so it's just hanging loose. I did ask a gentleman to take a quick picture of it, so from the forums, and he and the super moderator of the Rolls-Royce forums were kind enough to respond with pictures. I'm going to have to take a look and then see what bracket there was that's supposed to connect this dipstick and hold it in place. I also have what appears to be a ground wire that's kind of hanging loose. But all in all, everything now runs okay. The engine sometimes on the first crank doesn't like to start. Not this time. Well, there you go. There you go. So sometimes it doesn't like to crank, sometimes it does, but you can see that there's a delay in it wanting to basically fire up and run at full speed. I suspect that it's a check valve somewhere in the fuel system that's causing fuel to drain back. So whatever is in the rails inside these steel lines is what's causing the car to run, and then it just basically cuts out, and then it needs to basically pump up fuel pressure before it gets back in. Got to figure that out. I got to find out where the probe is, where you stick the probe for the CO meter, so that I can basically check the air fuel ratio, because I'm not sure if this car is running at peak level. You know, we took the fuel distributor apart, we jacked with it. Well, Vaughan took the fuel distributor apart because I jacked with it, and then it turned out to be the warm-up regulator. That was the problem. So I just want to make sure it's all dialed in the way it should be. As a general rule, you know, the rule that I follow, the rule that I was taught, is that you lean the mixture out until the car would barely run, and then you dial it back, reach a quarter of a turn, and you're kind of pretty close to where you need to be. So that's the rule that I followed. But got to figure that out, so that's going to be another question or a look in the manual or whatever I need to do. Today, what I'm actually going to be working on is this guy. So this is an 80-gallon compressor. The motor is clearly bad because the capacitor is missing and the pump's locked up. So I bought a new pump from Harbor Freight. They had a 20% off coupon this weekend for the Inside Track members, and I'm going to install that pump and see if I can get this thing going again. I got to figure out the piping. So right now I bought a new pump. The motors should be delivered today, so that's going to come tomorrow. I also got a new pressure switch, a new gauge, but my pressure switch is one of those with only one single orifice. So I've got to get a four-way valve, so you can have your blow off, your gauge, and possibly something else. I'm not sure exactly what. Maybe this guy over here, this for the check valve. I think while I wait for the compressor motor to arrive, it should arrive today, and then the check valve should arrive tomorrow. I can take this pump off and test fit the other pump, and then route the lines where I need to route them and make sure everything is supposed to be where it needs to be. So that's going to be my job for today. If I get Alright guys, so the compressor pump is on, but I still need to drill a few holes into the base. So what I'm waiting for is the compressor motor, which should arrive today, so hopefully I'll have it up here by tomorrow. And then once I get it on, I can make sure that the pulleys are aligned. I had to order a new pulley for the compressor motor, so that should arrive tomorrow as well. It had to be an inch smaller than the pulley that was originally on the old motor, and the reason behind that is because this pulley is slightly smaller as well. So to get the speeds right, I had to order another pulley. So once that's all together and I can get everything, measured up and lined up, then I'll drill in these 3 holes. What I also did is dumped a pile of water into the tank. It was clogged at the beginning, but then I was able to free it up with a little bit of compressed air, and it was, as you can see, pretty nasty stuff down there. So I'll let it dry out, but what I might do afterwards is go back in and wash it again, just make sure it's clean. It's always a little bit concerning when you're using an old pump that it could fracture under pressure. So that's something that I have to think about. Probably when I test it first, I'll make sure that I'm very far away from it, when it runs. Hey guys, this is Al at the shop. It's Saturday the 14th of June, and it's starting to get really warm in here. Where was I last? I can't remember where I was last. I think the last time I posted, I ran into an electrical issue with the Corniche. It needed a new alternator. I installed a new alternator. Everything's hunky-dory. But then I heard a noise from the engine bay. I didn't think it was from the engine. I was trying to troubleshoot it. When I unplugged the AC compressor, to disengage the clutch, there was a problem. Right? I plugged it back in, and the clutch wouldn't re-engage, and the blower motor was basically shut off. So I kept on hearing a buzzer sound inside the cabin of the car, and when I cycled the switch back and forth and I cycled it to high, I'd get the oil pressure light reading. So I think that the problem is a ground issue, but somebody else mentioned that there's a fuse that's tied into the AC compressor and the blower motor that could go out. I haven't been able to find that fuse. So, what I did is I moved some cars around so that the Corniche is now on my 4-post, and the 6.3 is where the old 3.5 used to be, and the 3.5 is where the 928 used to be, and the 928 is in the paint booth, which is around the back. And I'll give you an update on that car. But long and short, basically, it doesn't have any AC. It's June. On my thermometer, which I think is inaccurate, it says 101 degrees Fahrenheit inside this building, which is about 40 degrees Celsius, and we haven't even started yet. Apart from that, I was working on my air compressor, so let me show you. So this air compressor, the motor was bad and the pump was bad. So here's the old pump and the motor's somewhere in the shop. But long and short, the tank seemed like it was in pretty good shape. It had been sitting on the floor for a while, you know, sideways. So I was a little bit worried about it, but it turned out it was full of oil. So I just flushed it with a little bit of water and then, you know, let the water drain. It still has a ton of oil inside it, probably from when the old pump grenaded, that I need to figure out, because obviously I can't paint in a tank that has oil in it. So I've got to figure out what to do about that situation. I bought the pump from Harbor Freight. It's a really nice pump. It's about 5 horsepower, or it needs about 5 horsepower. It delivers fairly decent CFM at, let me tell you. Yeah, so it pumps up to 175 psi and delivers 15 CFM at 90 psi, so it's great. I bought the motor from Vivo, and that's not been a great experience. They said that they were going to deliver it in 3 or 4 days, which is, you know, kind of about the same as Amazon, and it was selling at Amazon as well. But unfortunately, it took a little bit longer than that, and their customer service isn't the best, right? It's not so much that they're rude or they just don't seem to know what they're doing. You know, when I'd ask them, they would basically say that it's en route. Somehow in the script, they keep using the words "don't worry," which it sounds to me like it's condescending. If I was worried, I'd talk to a priest or I'd talk to a doctor. I wouldn't talk to a customer service rep. I'm just trying to find where my motor was. It did eventually arrive. When I did install it, I ran and broke in the pump for about ran it for about 25 minutes and broke in the pump. Obviously not under load. And then you know, after that, I put everything back together again. I installed new valves. Underneath, I have a ball valve as well. I don't know whether you can see it from there, but there you go. So that helps drain the tank. I put a brand new pressure switch, brand new gauge, and also a check valve, brand new check valve. And then I used a mixture of 3/8 and 1/2 inch pipe, just basically soldered it together. I'm not the best solderer, as you can see, but it holds air, which is the most important thing. When I did run it under load, it ran the first time fine and it pumped up, but then after a couple of times it would trip the reset button on the breaker. So I'm not sure exactly what happened here. I did contact Vivo and asked them, and again in their script they said, "Don't worry, we'll send it to the technical support guys and they'll talk to us." And I had to tell them, I said, "Look, you guys have got to stop using 'don't worry' in your scripts, because we're not worried, we just want the problem fixed." But in any case, so that's where I am right now. I'm waiting for them to get back to me on what they want to do about the compressor motor. I suspect that they'll want me to check some voltages, you know, maybe a capacitor's gone bad or something like that, I'm not sure. From everything that I've read about Vivo, it's kind of hit and miss with them. You can buy something and it's no problem whatsoever, and then you can buy something that is just a nightmare to deal with. I suspect that their quality control isn't great, and as a result, you know, if you get a good item, it will last forever, and if you get a bad item, it's bad right away. And I think that this is what's going on with this one. So hopefully they'll address it, and if they don't address it, then I'll just contact my credit card company and have them claw back the payment. You know, in the end, it's not working, and it hasn't been on there for more than a couple of weeks, and actually a couple of tries, because I haven't really been using it. I've been using my regular 60-gallon Campbell Housefield compressor, which is what I use every day. So So this one keeps running. I just want to move this one to the new shop because now I got the permit for that, and then keep this one at the old shop because it's where I'd be doing most of my work. The other place will be more of a man cave. Doing a little bit of painting and prepping. So right now, this hood's got some slight hail damage, so sanded it back, filled in some of the hail dings, and primed it. I'm also working on the 928. So let me show you what's going on there. So you can see my Corniche is on the 4-post, and I have to put the 4-post right in front of the 2-post because that's really the highest part of the shop, so I can't really put it anywhere else. It's not the most convenient place, but it is, works. A 6.3, actually got it off the lift and into this spot under its own power, so I'm very happy about that. And here's my 928. So if you don't remember the video that I had a few weeks ago, I pulled this out of its resting spot, and prior to parking it there about, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe even more than that, who knows, I had it repainted and it looked really good. So before I had it painted, it looked like it may have had a prior paint job. There was some clear coat peeling, and I'm not sure if these cars were actually clear coat or were they just single stage. So the guy who painted it, sanded it back, and then I guess he primed it and then painted it. I pulled it out of its resting spot. It looked like there were these, I thought initially there were like maybe lime scale marks on the paint. I tried to buff it, it wouldn't come out, and then when I basically put my hands over it, I could feel that it wasn't on top of the clear coat. The clear coat was silky smooth. So what I think must have happened is that the primer sunk a little bit, and that's what was causing these shadow marks. But in any case, what we're doing right here is the issue is mainly on the roof of the car and on the hood and the fender. So we're just prepping that part, just scuffing it, and then we're going to reshoot it. And it should be fine right now because the clear is smooth as glass, so it's shrunk as much as it can, and we've knocked it all down. So the paint's now pretty level, and we're just going to basically sand it, and we'll maybe hit it with sealer, and then shoot it with paint. We're going to go to about that far down. When I say we, the reason I'm saying that is because I've done some of the prep work, but the guy who's actually going to shoot the car is a friend of mine. He's a professional painter, so I've shot single stage paint, and it's not really hard. I struggle really badly with metallic paints. If it's a solid color, it's fine. If it's clear, it's fine. But metallic kind of is an art that I don't quite understand yet. So I've screwed up a couple of metallic paint jobs, and that's why I don't do it. And this guy's a friend of mine. He's willing to help me. He's a professional, so I'd rather have him shoot the car because it comes out better when a professional does it. And that's it, really. So I have a couple of more updates. I did buy a new car, so it's right outside. I picked it up just now, but I'll do a different video on that. The first car I bought this year, really, so I'm pretty excited about it. And then, I'll give you an update later on the new building. So I did pass the inspection, which is fantastic. It still needs a couple of things to take care of before it's move-in ready. We've got to install air conditioning. I have a mini split, but I haven't installed it yet, and put floors down. So initially I was thinking about acid-staining it, but now I'm thinking about just laying down hardwood or a vinyl look hardwood, because I think it's going to be a little bit more resilient and it's going to be easy for me to install. So I'll give you an update on that place when it's done. But for now, this is it pretty much. Going to focus my attention on the Rolls Royce. If I can pull the kid in, because he's really good with electrics, and I'm really bad with electrics. I'll get him to give me a hand, but first thing first, what I'm going to do is walk around and clean the grounds and see if that makes a difference. And I'll see you on the other video. Alright, thanks very much. Take care.